What's next for Pierre Poilievre after the 2025 election? Fallout, future, and what it means. As the dust settles from the 2025 federal election, Canada finds itself at a political turning point. With the Liberals, now under Mark Carney, securing victory, questions mount about what comes next for Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party. This election didn't just determine a government. It reshaped the political battlefield and set the stage for the next chapter in Canadian politics. Poilievre, who built significant momentum as a bold, populist voice for change, now faces the dual challenge of maintaining party unity and rethinking strategy. The result was disappointing for many Conservatives, but far from a political death sentence. The central question now is whether Poilievre remains the party's standard-bearer, and if so, how he repositions himself and the Conservative movement for a comeback. Unlike a sitting Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition must hold a seat in the House of Commons. Since Poilievre lost a seat, he cannot perform this role, requiring the party to appoint an interim opposition leader until he wins a by-election. This creates a temporary leadership vacuum and a logistical obstacle to maintaining momentum. While his overall leadership of the party isn't in immediate danger, his absence from Parliament limits his visibility at a critical moment when narratives are rapidly solidifying. Whether Poilievre returns to his old riding or contests a safer seat will depend on strategy and opportunity. Either way, his return must be carefully timed and executed to avoid further instability or delay. His ability to reassert himself in Parliament will be central to preserving his leadership credibility and setting the party on a firm footing. Despite an energetic campaign and robust ground game, the Conservatives struggled to make deeper inroads with key segments of the electorate. Slogans like "Bring it home" were effective rallying cries for the base, but lacked the emotional nuance needed to sway swing voters. By contrast, the Liberals effectively wielded fear, casting Poilievre as a threat to abortion rights, multiculturalism, and economic stability. These fear-based tactics, while polarizing, succeeded in consolidating the center-left vote. For many voters, particularly in urban and suburban ridings, the election became less about aspiration and more about avoiding perceived risk. Poilievre's challenge now is to neutralize that fear-based messaging and craft a hopeful, inclusive alternative that speaks to both practical concerns and national values. The collapse of NDP support played a pivotal role in the Liberal victory. Soft NDP voters migrated strategically to the Liberals, forming an ad hoc coalition designed to block Poilievre. This shift wasn't accidental. It was engineered through targeted messaging, particularly on TikTok, Instagram, and Chinese-language platforms like WeChat. This allowed the Liberals to win key battlegrounds without dramatically expanding their base. For the Conservatives, it revealed the need to disrupt this fragile center-left alliance and offer a credible, inclusive path that attracts urban and working-class Canadians disillusioned with the status quo, but wary of change. Compounding Poilievre's challenge was the shadow cast by provincial Conservative leaders, particularly Doug Ford in Ontario. While Ford and Poilievre differ on several key issues, the Liberals blurred those distinctions, framing federal conservatism as an extension of unpopular provincial policies. This strategy undermined the Conservative brand in pivotal Ontario ridings and underscored the importance of drawing clear distinctions between federal and provincial governance. Going forward, the Conservatives need to communicate not just what they oppose, but what they stand for. Canadians are looking for vision, not just criticism. Poilievre's core values, fiscal responsibility, accountability, freedom, still resonate, but they must be articulated with empathy and specificity. Voters want real solutions to rising housing costs, stagnant wages, and declining trust in public institutions. The next version of the Conservative message must be more than a rejection of liberalism. It must be a blueprint for renewal. A major opportunity and blind spot for the Conservatives remains young Canadians. Millennials and Gen Z are facing extraordinary economic stress, unaffordable housing, job precarity, and crushing student debt. While the Liberal campaign played on their fears, it did little to offer lasting solutions. This is where Poilievre could gain ground. His messaging on home ownership, inflation, and the cost of living already resonates with many young voters. By presenting clear, actionable policies on housing supply, digital jobs, entrepreneurship, and tax reform, he could build a durable coalition of younger, more aspirational voters who want more than empty rhetoric. The key will be speaking to them in their language and on their platforms, without pandering. Although leadership speculation has begun, names like Melissa Lantsman, Michael Barrett, and Larry Brock are being mentioned. There's no serious internal momentum to replace Poilievre. Party members and strategists still believe he is the strongest candidate to lead the party through this transitional period and challenge Mark Carney in the next election. Still, smart leadership involves succession planning. The Conservatives must continue cultivating a deeper talent pool and preparing for every possibility. Even if Poilievre stays, the bench must be strong, cohesive, and ready for prime time. The next election will require a broad, united front with diverse voices capable of reaching a wider electorate. Central to any future success is dismantling the Liberal Party's powerful fear machine. For a decade, Liberal victories have relied on stirring anxieties about their opponents, Harper-era austerity, Trump-style populism, abortion rollbacks, and so on. This approach, pioneered during the COVID-19 pandemic, has become their go-to weapon in mobilizing support. The Conservatives cannot merely respond to these attacks, they must preempt them. That means owning the narrative, leading with solutions, and framing debates around optimism and opportunity rather than defensive posture. Canadians are tired of fear-mongering. They want vision, leadership, and results. The path to victory lies in providing that contrast. Pierre Poilievre's next moves will define not only his political legacy, but the future of the Conservative Party. Will he reclaim his seat swiftly, rebuild the movement, and reintroduce himself as a more empathetic, visionary leader? Or will internal fatigue and public skepticism force a leadership transition? The coming months will answer those questions. What's clear is that the 2025 election was not the end. It was an inflection point. The loss exposed weaknesses, but also clarified the stakes. With humility, strategic recalibration, and policy depth, Poilievre has a chance to return stronger and more effective. But the path forward won't be easy. As Canadians digest the outcome and brace for the next phase of political realignment, the Conservative movement must evolve or risk stagnation. That means speaking to youth, new Canadians, suburban families, and disaffected voters who crave competence, not slogans. It also means holding the Liberals accountable while offering more than just outrage, offering hope. Now the question turns to you. Should Poilievre remain leader of the Conservative Party? What issues must the party prioritize to broaden its appeal? How can it overcome Liberal fear campaigns and engage a new generation of voters? We want your thoughts as the story continues to unfold.